All right. The first time I want to do this, I'm sorry. It's the first time I'm doing this. So I'm going through some of my comic books. Kind of random. That one was a little too new. I'm showing some age on it. Ones that I can remember. Ooh, I can't find that. I mean, I got plenty in here. All right. So, I've been collecting comic books now for, a long time. Probably, I'm 41, close to 30 years, off and on. I really kind of got out of it for a while, but I'm back in now, obviously. You know, if you collected when you was a kid before Marvel, 9 times out of 10, you're going to probably be like, yo, I'm going to get back in, especially now. But anyway, this particular comic book that I'm about to show is one of the hottest comic books of the 90s, early 90s at that. And if you were a comic book person, you wanted this particular version of this comic book. So I'm going to show you what it is. But anyway, you wanted it. Just so happened I got one. Somebody gave it to me, right? Batman 500. Or Nightfall 19. This is the infamous, I think this is the infamous Batman when Bane breaks his back, right? So this was one of the most sought after, at that time, in comic bookdom, put it like that. I lived in the rural South, and my parents, weren't necessarily going to spend or make sure I had this. This wasn't that important to them. It's crazy. It came with a Batman movie, Batman Forever, with Val Kilmer. I think it was Val Kilmer. Yeah, 1995. Came with a Batman, whatever it is, to let you know that this movie was coming out. One of the not so good Batmans. Val Kilmer was a great Bruce Wayne, but not a good Batman. Ben Affleck is a great Bruce Wayne. He's an okay Batman, but Val Kilmer is like, okay, what's his name from ER? Oh, the doctor from ER. Anyway, that is probably considered the worst Batman, but I think he still was a good Bruce Wayne. But anyway, Christian Bale is in the new guy, Pattinson. You know how to say his name. So far, been and Michael Keaton have been the only three to pull it off from both Batman and Bruce Wayne. But anyway, this was a special one, mainly because of the cover, as you can tell. And then it shows you, once this Batman was beaten, the Batman that would take over, Azazel, you see what's going on with Robin down there. He's upside down, bro. Bane don't get me wrong, I get the symbolism for Bane, in the perspective of Christian Bale's Batman. And then let's not forget the infamous George Clooney Batman, where Bane was some wrestler. There was a hot mess. I mean, Green Ivy was great in that movie, but overall, and then even Schwarzenegger was great as Iceman. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But come on, that doggone no. But anyway, this was one that was way important. As you could tell, Death of Superman. In the 90s, if you was growing up in the 90s, This particular one and Death of Superman were the creme de la creme, right? So as you can see, look, here's a insert of basically classic Batman. You can't look at that Mortal Kombat, bro. It's crazy. This is October 1993. For those of you who might want to zoom in. And this was a saga. This was a drawn out situation where they were, just, I think it's probably still one of the best storylines in Batman. And let me see, I want to find the moment that well, actually, this one is not in here. I got it wrong. I gotta look for it. I got it backwards. This is when the new Batman is trying to fill the role. Okay, I've got the other one somewhere. I gotta find it. I thought this one was it, so I got it wrong. But anyway, this is when the new Batman is trying to take over, right? Bruce has already gotten his back snapped, and we're trying to get the new Batman. He's trying to find his footing, and this is when he is unveiled. There on page 29. I gotta find that actual one. I got it in there somewhere. And that's when he's available. I mean, it's cute, and the main point for this particular one is we're headed into the 2000s, so everybody was at this time was either torn between the world ending or torn between making the characters more futuristic. Let's not forget the Jetsons, had said, what we would be doing by 2000, and we were nowhere near to that. The changes in Superman, the changes in Batman, the changes in X-Men, all of them had a lot to do with the 2000s and what people were assuming the 2000s would or should look like. So the characters began to take different shape compared to the classic Batman, which everybody loves even to this day, that didn't need to be changed at all. But at that time, this glimpse in history, the comic book industry felt that that's what that should have been. For me, that would have been 20 some odd years ago, almost 30 years. But Bane was no joke, bro. And that's something that I missed, that I was wishing they would have had in the Batman with George Clooney. And even with the Batman with Christian Bale. Don't get me wrong, Christian Bale's Bane was nice. But I was looking for more of that, I don't know, I guess you could say power. And let's not forget the 90's art, right? It's still comic booky. If that's a word, I don't know. It's still comic book-ish. And it's still a place for you to go to rather than the place where you are, which is what we're kind of in now, where we are, for the most part, we've gotten close to real life. In the 90's and, up until a lot of the 2000s, it was still, comic books took you away to a place, to a city. And, now, you see, and at the back, this is the one that was on the reverse version of the one that was on the front. And another one on the back. So, yeah, this was still one of my favorite ones. I got to find the other one. I got it in there somewhere. And when I find it, I'm going to do a review on that one, too, a quick glance. And then maybe back on some of these, we'll even go back and read through them. I remember I used to really want to get those, wanted to order them. High Comics, where you could order comic books. And this is also a time when everybody was really looking at comic books as a cash cow for value and collector's items, more or less, than the stories. But the thing is, the nostalgia is what makes the value. You know what I'm saying? Not if you print it, they will come. You know what I'm saying? If you print it, they will come. No, none of that. It was the nostalgia. It was the story. It was the being taken away to Gotham. And I think that's what made comics throughout the golden age, all the way into, even into the 90s, with a lot of the storylines that came along in the 90s, especially with X-Men, then the cartoons, then Batman, the animated series, which is, if you are a Batman fan, if you're a cartoon fan, and you're over the age or at the age of 40, you are a Batman animated series guy. And this was a part of in that, as a collector. So if you got this or can find this somewhere at your local comic book store, get it, read it, keep it, hold it for future posterity. Us historians, us comic book collectors, now that we are starting to see our world come to the world of the mainstream, these are things that are good to have, not for the money, just for the sake of saying, I got it. Like, and people are like, yo, he's legit, bro. He got it.